Today is Monday, August 15, 2022. And you climb, you actually go up a ridge. You get pretty epic views of Three Creek Lake below you to the right as you're climbing. Gotta be a little careful, but you do that. And first part's a bit of a slog. I like to personally power through it, but no harm in taking some breaks, enjoying the views. Then you turn left and more into Deschutes National Forest, Three Sisters Wilderness proper, and you ascend up to a overlook section. Be forewarned that All Trails just has you stopping there at 5.3 miles, 1,400 foot elevation gain. I would not stop there. It's a mighty fine lookout, but I would keep going on the trail we're on now. I like to extend it to at least 9.3 miles to Broken Hand. It takes it to from 1,400 to 1,800 foot elevation gain. My favorite part of the whole hike is actually in this extended section. I call it the red clay ridgeline alpine zone. Basically a long red clay ridge you hike across, very safe, very wide, so you don't feel like you're, death defying. And you get mountain views on both sides, including epic shots of Sisters and Broken Top. That's my favorite part of this whole hike. The red ridgeline of your red clay summit zone. And that's not in the All Trails little 5.3er. So my viewpoint is if you're gonna bother coming all the way out here, you might as well get the full Tam McArthur Rim experience. So this is also the kind of one of the highlight sections of the Broken Top Loop backpacking trail. This is one of the two main backpacking trails in Oregon as far as mountain loops. Broken Loop and Timberline Loop being the best two. So go to Broken Hand, 9.3 mile, 1,800 foot elevation gain total. And if you're feeling even more bold, go beyond that to Bend Glacier, No Name Lake, descend into that basin, and then come back. That makes it 11 mile, 2,200 foot elevation gain. It's probably as far as I go that direction. Getting diminishing returns at that point, then you're just descending and having to ascend. So those are your three distance choices. I recommend at least the minimum, which is the minimum I'll do, which is Broken Hand. You get to hike through these pretty epic Alpine Tundra, Alpine Meadow zones. Has an otherworldly feel. We've peaked past 8,000 feet. If you think about it, 8,000 feet, this is a snow zone. So about 10 months a year, this is a winter wonderland. Like this area could have tens and tens of feet of snow. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. So if this area is full of snow, the weight of the snow over time makes all these trees bend. That along with the winds and the storms. So there was no tornado, there was no hurricane. It's just, it's a rough life being a hardy alpine tree at elevation. You're gonna be covered by snow 10 months of the year. And right now you get your couple months of sunbathing before you're back under the snow. Look how beautiful this is. This is ridiculous. Gosh, this is beautiful. That is the world famous Broken Top. We see 8 mountains on this hike. I view Broken Top as the star because where you park at Three Creek Lake is kind of at the base, the foothills of Broken Top. Three Creek Lake is 6,500 feet, is the campground, Driftwood Campground. That's where we park. And it's actually one of the 2 highest elevation developed campgrounds in the state of Oregon, along with Flying and Newberry Volcanic National Monument. You start at 6,500 feet, you climb up to 7,900 feet to a lookout. That's the end of the All Trails thing, but I would not stop there if I were you. I would keep going on towards Broken Hand. You crossed the 8,000 threshold, and now we're heading towards 8376, which is called Broken Hand, named after Broken Top, which is the mountain straight ahead. I think that's at least a good minimum turnaround point if you can make it all the way safety-wise. It's 9.3 and 1,800 feet elevation gain. If you're really feeling bold and lucky, spring in your step, I'd go past that all the way down to Bend Glacier, No Name Lake, 11 miles, 2,200 feet elevation gain if you descend down to the basin. So, and then back up. But yeah, I consider this what I call it, because I am a very dorky fellow. I call this one of the 7 wonders of Three Sisters Wilderness. To Tam McArthur Rim Trail. This is a permit trail. I was lucky enough to snag one last night, which is way more last minute later than I normally am. They release some typically a week ahead of time, and then the rest 2 days before. Normally I book right away a week ahead of time, but I had a hankering to do this trail today, Monday, August 15, 2022, and I was able to look last night, and there was 4 permits left, so I snagged one of them. So that was kind of a lucky alignment, not the typical experience. So I wouldn't recommend waiting to the last day, but it's kind of spur of the moment, spontaneous decision, and it panned out for me. So I got the permit. I do recommend when you get the permit, you print it out at the time, fold it up, put it in the pocket of your jacket. That way you don't have to remember getting it the next morning. I woke up at 4, left at 4:30, got here at 6, and I was the first one on the trail. Not that that matters, but the point is you're just avoiding the heat, because it's going to be 80s today in this zone, 90s and 100s down in some of the lower elevations. So it is August 15th after all. This is Central Oregon, the high desert. So I don't want to be up here when it's 85. I'll tell you that right now. To me, that I find that a little scary, actually, like, especially because I like long distance, and I could get myself in a real situation if I overshoot my hydration management. If I get up here and I run out of fluid and I have miles and miles and 80-degree weather, that's when you get yourself in a heat stroke situation. So that's always my number one concern when I go hiking is temperature hydration management. So that's probably the one factor that could bite me like a snake in my heels. So I'm hyper vigilant on that. So for that reason, I come at 6 in the morning so I can be hiking in the 40s, 50s, 60s rather than coming at noon and hiking in the 70s and 80s and who knows, 90s. So that would be my pro tip. I would say for Tam McArthur Rim, you do not need boots. If you're sure-footed, low, high hiking shoes is fine. Love this glacier. This is pretty cool. This thing never melts. It's August 15th, and I think this glacier will just stay forever. I can kind of through a little rocky section. Look at the incredible glacier we're hiking next to. Look at that. It's pretty beautiful. Today is August 15th, 2022. That bad boy will not be melting this year. That's why they call it a glacier, hey? It's the definition of one. And we are hiking through this rocky alpine zone. We've crossed over 8,000 feet. And now we are hiking towards my favorite part of this whole hike. I call it the red clay ridgeline alpine zone. Because yeah, I like to name stuff. I'm a dork that way. That's my favorite part of the whole hike. And if you just do the all trails part where you stop at the overlook, you don't even get that part. So hike past the all trail spot through the unmaintained section. Seems pretty well maintained to me. I would recommend going to Broken Hand, which is about 9.3 miles, 1,800 foot elevation gain total. So it adds about 4 miles and 400 feet from the all trails version, but I would say it's the best 4 miles of the whole trip. So I think you're crazy to go to the overlook and stop there. Like absolutely nuts. I keep going. Come up to the magic zone. I'm Norwegian by blood, born and raised American, but I think this is in my blood or something, because I am a sucker of alpine hiking. It's my mind, body, soul juices flowing. It's me excited to be up here. So I hear the call of the alpine. I must answer, which is why I'm up here on a Monday morning, August 15th, 2022. Here's a pro tip on this section. Our trail is actually going to the left. Go to the right though, because yes, spoiler, I have been here before. You get a pretty epic mountain view, so totally worth coming to the right here. This is not the main trail, but it's a very short detour for a high yield view, so crazy not to take it. You know what those are in front of us? Materializing ever bigger with each step. Those are our friends, the Sisters Mountains, in all her sweet glory. There's 3, middle, north, and south. 10,300, 10,100, like 9,800, give or take. And how do you like them apples, kids? We got the Sisters Mountains, and right there, this is Broken Top, the 3-part ridge thing. There's the hint of the red clay we're gonna be on. Broken Top and our Sisters friends. My gosh, it's beautiful. The moon is even out to say, have a great day. Whew. I will stop here and show off these views. The Sisters, Broken Top, and our red clay mountain we're about to climb right over there.